friends. A recording of the lesson that we missed was requested by most of the class. So here we are. So this is going to obviously be shorter than an hour because we don't have all the group work that would normally go into it. So I'm just going to kind of go over a lot of the slides. So we are starting today on day 4, which would be the first day of us really talking about our CEA. So here's a nice little picture. That's me. It's my little sister. I'm assuming she's like a baby. She has a lot of hair. She was born with a lot of hair. And that's me. And we're both on my dad, and that's my mom's foot. And this is our disgusting brown carpet that we used to have at my parents' house. This couch that really injured me and gave me a scar because a spring was like popped out of it. But these are all things like, like you remember, right? Nostalgia. Like this was how we played with my dad. Like we would roughhouse and do goofy stuff, very cute. All right. We're going to save this one for Tuesday because I, love the astrological stuff. All right. So understand what nostalgia is and personally connect to the idea of nostalgia, understand the parts of rhetorical situation, analyze the text for rhetorical situation, and effectively summarize a text was our squad goals. Some of the things will probably be repeated on Tuesday just so that way we can kind of get a handle on it. Okay, so step 1 for what I'd like you guys to do, since you've read and annotated your first article of the class, you are going to begin with your reading process. So in the doc that we made the other day in your classwork that is titled My Process, it should already have your writing process in it. What you're going to add to it then is your reading process. So this is something we already discussed. So you're going to take like 5 minutes, set a timer on your phone, whatever, and answer the following questions. So when you sit down to read, what is the first thing you look at? Do you look at titles? Do you look at subtitles? Do you look for bold? Do you look for how long the text is? During reading, what do you look for? Do you look for sections? Do you try to like highlight one thing per section? Like, what's your strategy for tackling a reading? How does the way you read change between types of text? For example, when you read a news article versus a novel versus an academic journal, maybe you don't annotate novels. Maybe you you read the abstract and the conclusion of an academic journal and kind of skim the middle. There's all different kinds of strategies that you end up using for different texts that you tackle. When you encounter something you don't understand, a word or phrase, what do? Be honest. If you don't look it up and you just kind of keep going, write that. If you do take a minute to look it up, write that. If you go by it and hope the context kind of fulfills what you need, and then you follow that up with looking it up if you don't get enough out of the context, write that. And finally, what do you do to help you remember the information for a class discussion? Do you take notes? Do you reread the text and re-annotate? Do you pull certain quotes from the text so you can provide that in class? Cool. All right, so once you finish that, we were going to do a group chat. We'll do that in class. So project 1, day 1. We are starting the first day of project 1. It's going to be a lens essay on nostalgia. We'll talk about what the essay is, but everything we'll be reading and listening to will be related to nostalgia, the topic of nostalgia, such and so on. Articles first, essay later. So nostalgia is a sentimental longing or wistful affection for the past, typically for a period or place with happy personal associations. Christine Bacho talks a lot about how we think about the past because we want to return to certain aspects of our lives, right? So this was a family vacation that I went on with my parents and sister. This first picture, they're all taken in the Roanoke Hotel. So this was a trip to Tennessee. So we went to Roanoke first, stayed in this beautiful hotel that's like super like fancy. And then we left from there and we went to Tennessee after that. So it's kind of our halfway point. But we were goofy because Stacy and I felt like we were very like ritzy being in this hotel. It's very like, it's an old hotel and it kind of has that like that villa look on the outside. So we really just felt like we were like in a castle, essentially. So that's why this happened. And this staircase we thought was so grand and beautiful. And apparently they changed the carpet a lot, because the carpet is different in every single picture. But so then this is 10 years later. I believe I am 20 in this picture, I think. No, I'm 21 in this picture. 11, 21. And then this was this past summer. So I was 27. So it's just always, we just always end up recreating the picture. Very cute. I don't know. It's a nice nostalgic thing to kind of look at. And it's funny to like remember the different ways that we've encountered this. I was dating my husband. We're high school sweethearts, so I was dating my husband and like texting him about how beautiful it was. We went on a food tour. This is like Roanoke up and coming. It was very cute. And then this year it was, we brought my husband and my sister's like long time boyfriend. So it was like a much bigger vacation. It's very interesting to think about how things like develop and grow. All right. Anyway, don't call it a comeback. All of these things are making a comeback, right? We got corduroy pants. I just bought some corduroy flare pants not that long ago. We got this color of dishes is like very much 1950s. And that's what my cookware looks like. Like I have this exact cookware set. Fanny packs. People be wearing fanny packs like it's none other. My mom had one when I was growing up in the 90s, and it was maroon, and she brought it everywhere. She brought it to every vacation. Roller skating is making a comeback. A big like TikTok, Instagram Reels trend, it seems, is roller skating, especially in like California. Like people love that. The instant the instant films. I have a Polaroid camera version of this. Mom jeans. I used to make fun of my mom for her mom jeans, and now they're in style. But that was like a big 80s thing. Like that's what my mom wore in the 80s. She wore that and like crop sweatshirts, and that was like her thing. Very funny. And finally, this cup design. Don't know why, but this is like what I would get at scooter skating rink in middle school, and that's what my soda came in, and that's like back and around and just like a joke. Even the bands are coming out. This is the set list for a band for a concert, a big festival that's happening next year. They actually just released the third show, so they were only supposed to do one show, and it's in Las Vegas, but it's like My Chemical Romance and Paramore and A Day to Remember and Avril Lavigne. And so it's very much like, it's kind of feels very Warped Tour-y, but like a really hyped up Warped Tour. Like I listened to in high school, I listened to Taking Back Sunday, A Day to Remember, 303, 4 Year Strong. Like this is all stuff that I could have seen at Warped Tour when I was in high school. I didn't even see Mom Jeans was going to be there. That's a current sad boy band that I really like. But yeah, like people are freaking out about it. A lot of my friends are going. I am not, because that's expensive. It's like $240. Kind of Firefly-esque, but like sad boy Firefly-esque. Very funny. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the nostalgia inventory that Christine Baccio invented. She invented this in 1995, so I do warn you that, some things might be a little aged. So you're going to take it on Google Forms, and then on Tuesday, we'll look at the results and see how many people are feeling super nostalgic. We're going to do this in class, so we're just going to skip over that. The 4 parts of rhetorical situation. We talked about this. So the 4 parts, we're going to start with context and situation. So why are we talking? Where is this conversation starting? Genre, audience, and purpose. So remember, genre is much more flexible than we know it to be. My dog's going to bark. Genre means the type of writing that it is. So is it an opinion editorial? Is it an Instagram post? Is it a blog post? Is it an academic journal? What kind of, that's genre. Audience is who you're talking to, who's going to be reading the article. And purpose is why you're writing it. What point are you trying to get across? All right, a quick review of summaries. So your summary is going to start with what's called a contextual introduction. Basically, you're going to tell me what the title of the text is, the genre of the text, the author's name, and their credentials, so you'll have to look them up, and provides a gist, main idea, argument of the text. Then you're going through the entire thing, and you're providing main points throughout the article. So my example was, in the podcast, receiving feedback doesn't have to be scary. Julia Furlan, content creator for NPR, explains how to take feedback in stride instead of fighting it. So if I were to do this for Christine Baccio, I would do Nostalgia, a Mental Time Machine. In the article, Nostalgia, a Mental Time Machine, an article written on Psychology Today by Christine Baccio, nostalgia researcher, explains that when we return to the past, we want to bring back the best parts of the past to the present. Whatever. That's as close as I'm going to get. So then if we were going to do this, like, this was a practice version, I'll have you guys do this on Tuesday because it's funny and I like it. How to write the body of the summary. So the main points, right? What main points are you getting across? Just some like tricks and tips are, after you've mentioned the author's full name, so after the contextual introduction, you should be referring to them by their last name for the rest of the summary. It does not need to be, don't use their first name because you're not on a first name basis. So you wouldn't be like, Christine mentions, like, oh, do you know Christine? Like, vibing out with Christine Baccio. Use action verbs to describe what they say. So do they acknowledge? Do they argue? Do they complain? Do they emphasize? Do they demonstrate the things that they're doing in the article? And then use the key terms the author uses as you summarize in your own words. So a really good way to guide your reading is, while you're reading, look for like specific words. So like in later articles, Kempo Amor is going to use transitional objects as like a keyword. So you're going to add those exact words, but you summarize in your own words. That's the point of a summary. It's in your own words. Do not copy and paste like the stuff in the article, because that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't show me that you understand what you're reading. And if I wanted to read the article, I'd just read the article myself. Does that make sense? So you're going point by point through the whole article. If you only mention the points at the beginning, it kind of sounds to me like you didn't read the whole article. You just read like the first couple of paragraphs. So try your best. So as an example for action verbs to describe what the author says, I said, example, Szyzerski, my last name, argues that if you want to have a good relationship with Venus, my cat, that you must absolutely avoid her belly at all costs. AKA, like, don't pet her stomach. But so Szyzerski argues, and then summary. Great. So this is kind of an example of like a summary of a podcast that I did. So if you want to read the podcast itself, it is actually pretty good because it's about how you can get the most out of feedback. So I kind of break it down piece by piece. So this is the genre. The genre is podcast. This is the title of the piece. This is her full name, her credentials. And for credentials, you want to make sure you're including the most important thing. So if you're writing about, I don't know, an author, you're writing about Edgar Allan Poe, you're not going to mention probably that his mother like was an actress. You're going to mention that he was a poet. So make sure that it's A, the most relevant to the topic at hand, and B, the most important part of their existence. Some people write articles, but that's not their main thing. Some people are actual and active researchers and scientists. Awesome. So then I have so now we use like last names, right? Furlan, is down here. She included 2 other like experts. So your gist can be more than 1 sentence. It can be 2 sentences if that's what works best for you. The contextual introduction can get very, very wordy. So that's totally okay if you do that. And then your turn. So for Bacho's article, write a 200-word summary. Each person should have their own individual summary. Once you're finished, make sure that the summary is in your CEA1 folder and titled last name _ Bacho summary. Then go to the assignment on Canvas and submit the link to the doc. And this is the procedure for anything that I ask you to hand in, like a summary. Otherwise, it's like bring it in, like annotations. I'm probably never going to have you submit because that's annoying. Like just bring it to class and I'll walk around and check it. It's one less thing for me to have to sit and like diligently grade. Okay, so then this is your homework. That's my cat Venus. She's big. Read and annotate What is Nostalgia Good For? Quite a Bit, Research Shows by John Tierney and summarize in 200 words. Same way. So contextual intro, main points, yada, yada. We'll kind of do before, like during class on Tuesday, we'll do like an editing kind of thing. So you'll get with your groups. I'll give you guys a summary checklist. So the things that you should have in your summary. And if the contextual intro is wrong, tell them. I will also say that I will be also providing that kind of feedback. Like I'll be giving you editing and stuff. You're also going to read, annotate, and summarize Why We Reach for Nostalgia in Times of Crisis by Danielle Campo Amor. I've also added audio recordings of both of these and the Bacho article to our Canvas page. There's a Google Drive folder that you can access. It should be good. I like edited them to make sure they weren't like janky. You can also, there's a YouTube video recording and there's an MP3 recording. So if you want to like download it and just listen to it on your phone, like you can do that too. Make sure all of the summaries are in your CEA1 folder on Google Drive. They should each have their own. They should each be titled with your last name _ Campo Amor summary or last name _ Tierney summary. And then I also created a Spotify playlist with nostalgia songs. So when you get a chance, feel free to add something to that. All right, that's about all we got. So I'll give you a brief, I'll show you how to do certain things. Okay, so if I were going to submit my summary, let's do student view. All right, I'm test student, and I'm going to submit my summary to Bacho. So I'm going to click on this. And then I'm going to click Start Assignment. And then you get a website URL. So what I'm going to do is go to my drive, open up the folder that I made, go to my classwork, and then create a CEA1 folder. And then, we'll create a Google Docs. It's titled correctly, so it'll look like this. Bacho. Sorry. So then we'll give myself a heading. Dr. Professor Szyzerski. The due date, which was the 28th. In the article. All right. So let's say I have my summary written, right? So now you're going to click the share button. And you're just going to click copy link. Then you're going to go back here. Oops. You're going to go back here. You're going to go to website. You should be good. As long as the doc is in your CC1 folder that I made for you, you should be fine. You can add me directly to it if you want to. You can do just like type my name in, and I will get it. I will get it anytime you add me to a doc. I get it, even if I'm already shared. like even if it's already shared to me, it'll just send me the link again. So it's simple. It's pretty straightforward. So that's it, I think. So I will see you all on Tuesday. Make sure that you have your summaries all finished, and that you I hope you use the recordings of everything. All right, bye-bye.